Using AI for enterprise strategic analysis usually produces one of three things: generic platitudes, uncalibrated guesses, or complete hallucinations. Without rigid structural boundaries, a large language model cannot differentiate between a viable business strategy and plausible fiction. It will confidently output both. To solve this, we apply the Strategic Temperature Check version 2.1 framework. The Strategic Temperature Check operates as a deterministic prompt architecture, forcing the AI into rigorous evidence-based constraints. This is the executive dashboard, the primary artifact produced by this architecture for the C-suite. Right at the top, the organizational health score and the strategic temperature traffic light act as immediate triage metrics. They provide leadership with an instant, high-level baseline on the current state of the enterprise. Beside them is the organizational momentum vector, which tracks the trajectory of the business over time, indicating whether performance is currently improving, stable, or declining. While the interface is clean, this output is generated by a complex series of logic gates operating underneath the surface. To understand how this system extracts accurate data and eliminates hallucination, we have to deconstruct the architecture itself. True strategic utility is achieved only when you force a model through standardized executive frameworks to produce a high-confidence, mathematically derived baseline. The starting point for this strategic analysis requires gathering complete, unvarnished situational awareness of the entire organizational landscape. This occurs in Step 1, the input information phase. A comprehensive mapping must be established. The prompt requires ingestion across 15 specific vectors of business intelligence. First, the system demands quantitative inputs, specifically extracting financial information and performance metrics. These hard numbers are a non-negotiable prerequisite for grounding the analysis in organizational reality rather than corporate messaging. The architecture then requires qualitative inputs to surround those numbers, measuring vectors like knowledge management, enterprise risks, and technology maturity. These qualitative vectors provide the necessary structural context to interpret the financial data accurately. Relying strictly on a single data type, whether that is an objective balance sheet or a subjective employee survey, inevitably creates dangerous strategic blind spots. By mandating multi-domain ingestion, the AI is supplied with the exact substance required to evaluate the business, preventing it from inventing its own context. Once the data is ingested, the primary danger of the processing phase begins. Left to its own devices, an AI model will seamlessly blend verified facts with its own assumptions. Step 2 introduces the AI report prompt. This node operates entirely as a strict constraint mechanism rather than a creative generator. The core innovation within this step is the epistemic filter. The filter forces the AI to divide the raw data into 4 separate epistemological channels. Channel 1 contains observed facts. These are the irrefutable data points extracted directly and cleanly. Channel 2 holds reasonable inferences. The AI connects facts to draw conclusions, but is strictly required to label that connection. Channel 3 isolates assumptions, preventing educated guesses from appearing as reality. Finally, Channel 4 catalogs unknown information. Identifying these unknowns is arguably the most critical feature for executive risk management. It maps exactly what leadership cannot currently see. These sorted channels directly inform the evidence confidence rating, which calibrates based on the ratio of hard facts to unverified assumptions. The prompt issues a direct instruction: do not overstate conclusions. The sorting mechanism is how the system enforces that rule mechanically. By forcing the AI to explicitly categorize its epistemological boundaries, the STC framework creates a mechanical barrier that isolates unverified claims from the final analysis. With the data safely categorized, the system synthesizes the findings into the final deliverables. Deliverable 2 is the comprehensive assessment report, a detailed breakdown of the organization's mechanics. It populates specific analytical modules, evaluating business model and financial sustainability to AI readiness and governance. But a broad corporate diagnostic provides no real value if it cannot be translated into localized, immediate action. This is the function of Step 4, the executive review questions, which act as the final translation layer. 10 targeted questions distill the comprehensive report directly into the executive action matrix. A prompt like, "Where is strategic drift occurring?" pulls data from the inferences channel and routes it to the investigate quadrant. A prompt asking, "What should leadership stop doing?" translates urgent risks into the improve quadrant and feeds the 90-day action plan. The recommendation priority matrix then steps in to ensure leadership tackles these actions in the correct sequence, weighting them by the evidence confidence rating. Asking precise, constrained questions transforms a theoretical AI analysis into a highly actionable, prioritized directive matrix for the C-suite. The STC mechanism operates on a single flow. Unstructured data is processed through strict epistemic constraints to yield a prioritized, evidence-backed baseline. The architecture also incorporates a feedback loop. By ingesting previous assessments, the system generates a trend comparison, mapping organizational momentum over time. This iterative process turns a static snapshot into a longitudinal map of strategic health. However, the framework has one ultimate limitation. An AI assessment, no matter how rigorous, cannot replace actual execution. Organizations are strengthened only through disciplined leadership, evidence-based decision-making, continuous improvement, and sustained execution.